Hello from Westminster, and I thought I'd do another video on a deeply personal and emotive issue, which is abortion, because there was a free vote last week in the House, and I've had several people writing to me about my views and what I chose to do. Now, as the Shadow Minister for Women and someone who would absolutely die on a hill to stand up for women's rights and women's choices, this vote somewhat came out of the blue and has been quite confusing for people to follow during a criminal justice bill. Now, women's situations when it comes to making this really difficult choice will be completely different, many and varied reasons. And for decades, we've had a very settled position when it comes to abortion in this country. And regarding women making choices, it has been possible for women to get to 24 weeks gestation period and after that 20-week scan and get the support that they need if they need to make a choice not to go through with the pregnancy. Like many colleagues, I was incredibly worried about the rushed through, unscrutinised, evidence activist-led campaign to significantly change the law on this, similar to the private members bill changes. Now, there's a chance for you to read the full debate on my website, and a major change to the abortion law on the basis of little or no evidence came up last week. Just 46 minutes of backbench debate and scrutinisation by the minister led to a change. Now, there has been changes in abortion due to the pills by post process that was brought in during lockdown, a temporary measure in England to enable women to take pills for early abortion up to 10 weeks. Now, this meant in your own home and without the need to attend a hospital or a clinic in the meantime. And these were temporary arrangements during COVID. Then there was another free vote during the Health and Care Act of 2022, which meant that this became permanent. Now, I, like many women, are worried about those people not being seen, those women not being seen. And in fact, back in 2022, actually health ministers voted against this permanent change. And of course, the two amendments last week, one new clause 1 from Tonya Antoinazzi and one from Stella Creasy, were both recently added as potential amendments in the police and crime bill to be voted on. Two of the biggest further changes on abortion laws in nearly 60 years. And it was right that backbench members of Parliament can bring through proposed changes or amendments to laws around abortion. Of course, they can be discussed. But as I say, this was rushed through with less than 2 hours of debate, ignoring many of the fundamental issues. And of course, I had to look to what my constituents said about this. 74% of my constituents writing in opposed the proposal to fully decriminalise abortion up till birth, with just 26% asking me to back this change. I actually backed what my colleague and friend Dr. Caroline Johnson, a paediatrician and a fellow MP, about a further amendment, new clause 106, which reinstated in-person consultations for pills by post. We are seeing late-term complications by women believing that implant bleeds are actually abortions because they've taken the pills by post, or quite often they are not aware of their gestation term. And in fact, there's been very few trials of women regarding abortions over the last 160 years, just 3. So it is right that women are heard, understood, have choice, but equally significant changes in the law need to be understood and looked at. And it was my view, thinking about women and girls we've seen with the grooming gangs and other coercive control, where women are forced into situations not heard and not understood, and if they're not seen by professionals and supported, sometimes wrong choices and bad experiences can occur. So I hope this has covered some of the reasons that I voted against this change. I felt that we had a very settled position, and I want women and girls to be seen, heard and understood, whatever their situation is, despite this change in the law. and I'll be watching very carefully to see how it works for them, thinking of the most vulnerable in our society and those babies who need to be thought about equally in this, because there is a time when a child's rights start to come through too. We know that babies now can survive at just 23 or 24 weeks. More details on my website, a full statement for you, but something here to have a listen and a look at. Thank you.